Good evening and welcome to Prime of Midlife. Tonight we're going to be talking energy prices and energy supply, or lack thereof. Certainly no lack on the prices, obviously. It's Tuesday, my first day back at work. As you can see, obviously I came home and went and had a hot bath. Yes, I know it's very hot, but that's my relaxation, and I've managed to keep the house quite cool. Hence the shawl, because that's just my comfy thing. So, anyway, energy supply. Now, I have my laptop down here, that's why you'll see the thing. Jonathan Mills was last month named Director General for Energy Supply in the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. And basically what that means is it's his job to try and keep the power on in the UK. So we actually have a guy whose job it is to try and keep the power on in the UK. Obviously, if you've been looking at the news, you will see that Nord Stream 1 has been switched off from Russia to Germany for planned 10-day maintenance. And basically we're all holding our breath to see if they actually put it back on. Europe is pretty worried about that. Obviously, as you know, we do not have a lot of gas storage in the UK. I think it's about 2 days worth. That's all we've got here. So they're utilising different plans to do things like keep coal-fired power stations going for longer. Doing different things like that. They can't do anything about nuclear because it's got to close, and the new one's not going to be ready till 2027 or something like that. So this guy he's the guy who's going to be making the plans. Now, in these plans, which are due, the National Grid has pledged to set out its winter plans this month, and it says our emergency power supplies are basically geared for storms and such, not for shortages. And although Centrica's just signed a deal with Norway's Equinor for enough gas over the next 3 winters, they still have to find somewhere to store it. So, Business Department held talks last week with manufacturers that use a lot of power, because obviously if we struggle for power, you can't just shut everything down. You've got to keep things going, like hospitals have to keep going. Things like that. Some of the manufacturing places where they've got furnaces that are on 24/7, you do not want to be shutting that down because it'll take you so much to get it back up. So what they're looking at here, discussions are thought to have assessed current energy usage, changing shift patterns and potential 3-hour shutdowns. The starting point is always to insulate consumers from any disruption. So, you know, it's basically shutting down manufacturing stuff when they can, but then if they can't, then we might have brownouts, which is when they reduce the actual voltage coming through. So your lights will flicker more, there'll not be as much power going through, that's a bit iffy. And if that doesn't work, they turn to what they call rota disconnection. And that's basically you get cut off for 3 hours. So this is a distinct possibility. This really is quite a thing. And then prices. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't looked at Martin Lewis's update on the new gas, on the new energy cap, it's definitely something you want to be doing, because the rough ready reckoner he's done, because the rise in gas prices that they predicted for October has gone up. It's increased. And the Martin Lewis Ready Reckoner says if you pay £100 a month now, from October you'll be looking at 165, and from January next year 170. Excuse me. So now I pay roughly £200 a month just now because my house is all electric, as I've said before. And it says here, if you pay £200 a month now, from October you should be looking at paying £330 a month. And then in January, £340 a month. And someone want to tell me where I'm getting this extra £130 a month from? I mean, what are they expecting us to do? How are they expecting people to deal with this? Sorry, I just put the computer down. You know, it's not something you can do without. You can't do without power for any length of time. There's people living with life-saving equipment running on power in their own homes. And what, you're just going to shut it off? So it really is something that's quite scary to just have this, oh yes, well here's this guy, he's going to sort it out and these are your options, but you know, if push comes to shove, we're just going to cut it off for 3 hours at a time. Okay, so if manufacturers don't do things, you know, and we all sort of don't stop, or it's like, don't put your kettle on in the adverts of Coronation Street because that's when there's a huge suck on the power. What are we meant to do? What is this? You can't have hot drinks, or no, you can't heat your home, you can't have this equipment on, or you're just not actually going to be able to use electricity for 3 hours. Or we're going to cut it off at like 10 o'clock at night. What happens if you've got an economy 7 and that's when your heat gets done? You know, there's so many different things that this could impact. And as I say, obviously they're going to do things like hospitals, water plants and stuff like that. That's all going to keep going. They're not going to have power cuts. But we are. That's going to be a huge thing. So I need to now go and get myself working out, what do I do if I have a power cut? If it's only a 3 hour power cut, that's fine because my freezers will still be okay. But I need to make sure that I've got my wee gas thing, my wee gas stove. Do you know the gas burner with the little butane tins? I've got that. I want to get a gas burner for my Calor gas stove as well. You know, what am I going to do? What is running on electricity in this house? What do I absolutely need to look at? Need to look at changing out? Need to look at doing something differently? I need to go and think, because this could be a serious problem. And, you know, October, we start paying for it. But in 10 days' time, if that gas doesn't come back onto Germany from Russia, it's going to start a lot sooner. So I'm off to go and make decisions and work out what I need to do. And obviously I'll let the cat in, because I'm sure you can hear her meowing at the back door. And I'll see you later.